Today I'm going to be showing you the game Dragonmaster. This game came out in 1981 from Milton Bradley, and it is for 3 or 4 players, but there is a way you can play it with 2 players. Anyway, the object of this game is you are going to be trying to become the player that gets the most amount of crystals at the end of the game. Now this is a trick-taking game, and this is a very unique one. Each player is going to be able to play the role of what is called the Dragonmaster, and they're going to be able to do this for 5 rounds. They're also going to be able to choose what hands they want to try to do, and hopefully get the other players to eat up penalty cards. However, the other players can actually take over the role of Dragonmaster in certain versions of this game. So let's go ahead and show you this game, you guys. Okay, folks, let's get right to it. These are the cards, and I have to show you these cards. Look at the incredible artwork that is on these cards. I hope you can see it okay. I'm just going to show you a few things here. Just some fantastic artwork. The same person that did the artwork to the game Dark Tower did the artwork to this. And these are just some incredible looking cards. Now each of these cards have different ranks on them, and I'll talk about what they are. But the different suits you have the Dragon Lords here, you have the Nomads, you have the Warriors, and then finally you have the Druids. And there's different drawings for each of these cards. So a queen in the Druid section is going to look different than a queen from the Warrior section. Now, this is a card that will show you the ranks of the different cards. You have the king, the queen, the princess, the wizard, all the way down to the fool. So this is a little chart that can help you figure out which the ranks of the cards are. Right here are the different types of hands that you will be able to choose from if you are the Dragonmaster, and I'll talk about how that works here in a minute. There's 2 sides to this. In the beginner game, you're going to play with these 5. You get to choose from these 5 hands, and in the advanced and expert version, if you're going to try to take over the role of Dragonmaster, you're going to be choosing these hands, which are the power play hands. And I'll again talk about how these work here in just a minute. Right here is the dragon card. You're going to use this in the advanced and expert game, and if you end up getting this card, this is going to give you an opportunity to be able to take over the role of the Dragonmaster. Right here you have your score chart, and what's going to be happening is the Dragonmaster is going to be choosing one of these types of hands to play, and he's going to be trying to get his opponents to take certain cards or certain tricks. And if he's able to do that, then depending on what the opponent ends up getting, he is going to pay the Dragonmaster that amount of points. And there's also one here on the power play side. This is going to be for the person who is going to be trying to assume the role of the Dragonmaster, and if he's able to do such, he is going to end up getting this amount of money. If he is not able to do it, he's going to have to pay the Dragonmaster this amount. And again, I'll talk about how this works. Right here you have all of your different jewels here, and you'll probably recognize these jewels if you've had the game Fireball Island. The red jewel is made up of these, but in this case there's 4 different colors, and you've got the diamond, which is the white one here, which is the most expensive. That's worth 20,000 points or dollars. This is the emerald. This is worth 10,000. This is the ruby. This is worth 5,000, and then you have the sapphire, which is worth 1,000. And okay, so now if you've never played a trick-taking game before, this is how it works. One player is going to do what is called leading, and he is going to lead with a card. And let's say he leads with the Queen of Druids right here, and he puts it down here. Now, everybody is going to look in their hand, and each person is going to have to play a Druid card to follow suit. Now, if they don't have a Druid card, they can play whatever they want. And the person who ends up playing the highest card after everybody has played is going to win the trick, and of course is going to be of that suit. So let's say the second player plays this fool here. It does not beat the queen, but let's say the third player plays the king here. The king beats the queen, so in this case he is going to go ahead and pick up the trick, and then he is going to go ahead and lead the next card. Now the trick with this particular game is you're going to be trying to force players to win tricks themselves in hopes that they're going to end up picking a penalty card up from this pile over here. So that's kind of how a trick-taking game works. Okay, so I have a beginner game set up over here, and for a 3-player game, you're going to take out the fools and the barons, and everybody is going to go ahead and receive 8 cards. Now, I believe the way the Dragonmaster gets picked is the first person that ends up drawing a king, and he will go ahead and start being the Dragonmaster. So let's just say I'll be the Dragonmaster. Now, the Dragonmaster is going to go, they're going to go ahead and get their cards, and the Dragonmaster has got 5 hands that he is going to be playing in a row, and he's going to basically be picking one of these types of hands to play. And here they are. We have the Dragon Lords over here. This basically means that whoever takes any Dragon Lord cards is going to get penalized. And that is going to cost people $1,000 per Dragon Lore card that they get. So if I end up leading a trick or something like that, and let's say this guy wins, and he has a Dragon Lore card in that pile, he picks it up, he's going to have to end up paying me money. Now this one says, do not take the Prince of Warriors. Somebody in here has the Prince of Warrior card, so if during the trick play, whoever ends up picking up the Prince of Warriors is going to get penalized. And in this case, they are going to go ahead and get penalized $8,000. All right, we have what's called first or last. Basically, this just means don't take the first or last trick. Whoever takes the first or the last trick is going to have to end up paying money. And in this case, they're going to end up paying $4,000 per trick that they take. If they take both of them, it'll be $8,000. You have the wizards over here, and this says don't take any wizards. Same thing applies here. You're just going to avoid trying to get the wizard. And whoever ends up picking up the different wizards, each wizard is going to be worth $2,000. And then you have the big one, which is the Staff of Power, and this means don't take anything. And when I say don't take anything, that means this card, this card, this card, and this card are all going to be in play. So there's going to be penalties for whoever picks up first and last, whoever picks up the Prince of Warriors, whoever picks up the Dragon Lord's card, and whoever picks up the wizard. Now, the Dragon Lord is not going to get penalized if he ends up picking these cards up. The only people that are going to get penalized are his opponents. So let's just go ahead and start up and just kind of show you how this works. I'll lay these out over here, like so. And let's say I go ahead and look at my hand. Now, I'm trying to determine what hand will work best with the choices that I have up there. So I do have a couple of wizards over here that I can try to get rid of. So let's just go ahead and say I'm going to go ahead and pick the wizards. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put this in front of me, and this is going to be the hand that we'll play. And this, of course, says don't take any wizards. So let's just go ahead and say that I decide I'm going to start with the wizard card over here. I'll just start with one. Why not? And so player 2 is going to look and see what he has, and he's going to have to follow suit. And he only has one red card, and right now he has the queen. So that's not good for him. So he's going to have to put that down over there. And player 3 is going to look and see what he has. And he has the Duke, he has the Prince, and he has the King. Now, the King is the only one that can beat this, so what he's going to do is he's just going to play one of these two cards. Let's just say he plays the Prince. And that means that player 2 is going to go ahead and pick up this pile. And as such, he has picked up a wizard, so now he is going to have to pay me money. So for that, he's going to pay me $2,000. So he'll take 2 of these sapphires, which are worth $1,000 each, and will give them to me like so. And then player 2 will go ahead and lead the next trick. So let's just go ahead and say he decides he's going to go ahead and play this count card over here. And at this point, that's the lowest card in the deck. So player 2 is going to, player 3 is going to look. He has a king and a queen of that suit. So let's just say he decides he's going to go ahead and play the king and get rid of that. And so I look at my hand, and I happen to have a wizard of that. So I'm going to go ahead and play the wizard. And so now player 3 has won this hand because he played the highest card. And he's also picked up a wizard, so now he's going to owe me $2,000. So now he owes me $2,000, and he's going to go ahead and give them to me like so. And then player 3 is going to go ahead and start himself. Now, he happens to have 2 wizard cards over here. What he wants to do is he would like to try to get rid of these and not end up with them. Because if he ends up picking them up, obviously he's going to have to pay money. So let's just say he decides he's going to play this blue wizard card and hope that somebody will actually be able to beat it. So I'm going to go ahead and look, and I have a prince and a king. So let's just say I play the prince. So the prince beats the wizard. So let's see if player 2 can beat the wizard. He can, but he's not going to. He's going to go ahead and play this count card over here. So now I've gone ahead and I've won the trick. So this guy has successfully managed to get rid of one of his wizards. Now, again, I'm not going to get penalized for picking this up because I'm the Dragonmaster. And so basically that's how the play is going to continue. Okay, so the wizard card is now out. So now me as the Dragonmaster, I'm going to have these 4 to choose from now. And I'm going to go ahead and look at my hand again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Staff of Power card, which basically is the one where all of these are going to be put into play. Now, for the Staff of Power, again, Dragon Lord's cards are going to be a penalty. The Prince of Warriors card is going to be a penalty. And the first and last trick is going to be a penalty. And actually, the Wizards is also going to be penalized as well. So everything is going to be in play here. So once again, I'll set this in front of myself, and we will go ahead and get started. And let's just say I'm going to go ahead and play the Red Duke over here. And so player 2 goes, he plays the Red Wizard because that's all he has. And player 3 doesn't even have a wizard, so he can actually dump out whatever he would like to. So let's just say he decides to dump out this card. So player 2 has picked up the first trick, and for that he is going to pay me $4,000. So let's just say he pays me these 4 rubies, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then he will lead the next hand. So let's say that he decides he's going to go ahead and play this wizard and try to get rid of it in hopes that he can. And let's see, player 3 plays the Duke, which is smaller than the wizard. And it turns out that I only have 1 blue card that I can play, which is the king. So I'm going to end up picking this pile up. And again, I'm not going to get penalized, but he has gotten rid of the wizard, one of the wizards. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and start. Now, I've got the Prince of Warriors card over here, but I'm not going to try to get rid of it yet. Let's just say I play this Dragon Lord card now. Now, the Dragon Lords are out. So this guy decides to play the Prince, which does not beat the Dragon Lord, and this guy has the King and the Duke. So let's just say, for example, let's just say this guy actually didn't see that he had this card, and he ended up playing the King. Now, he normally wouldn't do this, but let's just say he did. So he's going to go ahead and end up picking up these cards, and he's picked up 3 Dragon Lords. So since he's picked up the 3 Dragon Lords, he is now going to owe me $1,000 per Dragon Lord he picked up. So he'll go ahead and pay me this, and we will continue on. Okay, so let's just say he decides he's going to play this Dragon Lord Duke over here, and let's see what I've got. I don't have a Dragon Lord, but I do have the Prince of Warriors, so let's just go ahead and say I play that. And this guy goes ahead and plays, and he ends up only having the Count, which is the lowest card. So in this case, player 3 has once again, he ended up picking up 2 Dragon Lords, but he also picked up the Prince of Warriors. So in this case, he is going to end up owing me $10,000 for those 3 cards. So he'll go ahead and pay me an emerald in this case. And basically that's kind of how the game works. After this round is over, I as a Dragon Master will have 3 more rounds, and I'm going to have to pick from these 3 cards. And then after all of those cards are done and my 5 rounds are over, then it goes to the next player. And the next player will be the Dragon Master, and he will basically be trying to collect money as well. Now, for the advanced rules of the game, and I'm doing a 3-player game again, this card is going to be added, and this is the Dragon card. Now, whoever is in possession of this card is going to have an opportunity to try to become the new Dragon Master. And if he is successful in being able to do that, then he is going to take over, and however many turns that the player had, that is how many he's going to get. So if I was Dragon Master for, say, 3 turns, I would go ahead, if somebody took this from me, then he would get 2 turns at the Dragon Master. So, and the only rule basically is if, like, this guy won the last hand or whatever, the very last hand, he wouldn't become Dragon Master because it would go to the next person. So here's how this works. Okay, again, for the 3-player game, you're going to deal out all of the cards, and 1 card is going to be left over, and that's going to be put to the side. For the 4-player games, that's when you're going to use the Barons and the Fools. But we're going to go ahead and do a 3-player game. And let's say I'm the Dragon Master right now, and these are my cards. And let's look at this guy, see if he has a dragon. He does not. Let's see if this guy has a dragon, and he has the dragon. So now he has a couple of choices as to what he can do. He's going to look at his hand, and he can either take this dragon card and trade it out for this card and pick it up, and that basically signifies he's not going to try to do the power play, or he can go ahead and say that he is going to do the power play. Now, when he tries to do the power play, again, he's going to be trying to wrestle control away from the Dragon Master and become one his own. So what he's going to do is he's going to pick one of these cards like so, but he's going to turn it over to where it says power play, and this one says capture all the Dragon Lords. Basically, this is the exact opposite of what the normal Dragon Master would do. So let's just say he decides he's going to try to capture the first and last trick. So let's say he goes ahead and he does this and he looks at his card. Now the dragon is a wild card in this case, and he can play this as anything and beat anything. The only time he can't beat a card is if someone plays a king first. He's not going to be able to say, well, I have a king of that card too. That's the only time he's not going to be able to win, or if he decides to call it a lower rank. So let's just go ahead and say he's going to try to take the first trick and the last trick. So let's say he does that. Player 2 follows suit and he plays this, and then the next player does this. So he's gone ahead and he's taken the first trick. Now let's say throughout play he goes ahead and he takes the last trick. So he's gone ahead and he has performed the power play. Let's just say he's done both the first and the last trick. What's going to happen, he's going to become the new Dragonmaster, and then everybody else is going to have to pay him money. And this is the power play side. Since he was able to get first and last, each player is going to end up owing him $6,000. Now, if he failed at his power play, he would end up paying the Dragonmaster the $8,000. Now, for the expert game, they've added a couple of other things. One of them is what is called lead restrictions. And basically what this does is this limits what you can play as your first card. So, for example, one of the restrictions is if I decide to try to do the Dragon Lord, I would not be able to lead with a Dragon Lord. I would have to lead with something else. So that can make it pretty tricky. And the same thing with this. I would not be able to play the Prince of Warriors first on my hand on the expert level. And the other one is what is called the secret power play. Let's just say that the Dragonmaster in this case would call the Dragon Lords and says he's going to play this hand. Now, if anybody actually ends up doing this and capturing all the Dragon Lords, he's going to end up doing the secret power play. And basically what that means is everybody, if someone decides to do this, they're going to do this in secret. They're going to try to capture all the Dragon Lords without anybody else knowing or being able to keep up with it. So if he's able to actually do that, then he's going to do the secret power play. And if that happens, everybody's going to end up paying them $10,000 in the crystals, and then he will go ahead and become the Dragon Master unless the round is over. But if he is unsuccessful, in this case, it's not going to be a massive penalty. He's just going to have to pay the penalties for any Dragon Lord cards that he has, as you would normally to the Dragon Master. The only other thing about the secret power play is it can't be attempted if someone is already attempting a power play. So if someone's going to be trying to do a power play, then you can't do a secret power play. And it's only permitted in 3 of the hands. You can only do it as the Dragon Lords and the Wizards and the Staff of Power. So anyway, guys, that is how Dragon Lords works. Everybody's going to get a chance to be the Dragon Lord. In some cases, some people are going to actually steal the opportunity away from you and be a Dragon Lord a little more. And you're just going to basically play a certain amount of rounds. For 3 players, it's going to be 5 rounds per person that everyone's going to have a chance to be the Dragon Lord. And whoever has the most amount of money in crystals is going to win the game. So my final thoughts on Dragonmaster. Well, if you like trick-taking games, I definitely recommend you check this game out. This actually came off of a game called Coup d'etat, which I've never played. But this game is fantastic. The artwork on the cards is incredible. I love the artwork, and it really gives you the sense that you're playing a fantasy role-playing game with just the different suits, the names of the cards. And again, the artwork is great. One of the really cool things about this game is the fact that you can access penalty cards to people and try to get them to eat it. It's always very satisfying when they end up having to pay you crystals. But when you end up playing the advanced and the expert version of the game, boy, does that satisfaction level go up when you're able to do a secret power play and nobody sees it, and then everybody's just having to pay you tons and tons of money in crystals. This is a great, great game. I really like this game a lot. Now, I actually was looking on eBay for some older Milton Bradley games, and this one came up, and I was kind of curious about it. It was probably about a year ago when I was looking at it, but it just was a lot of money. It cost about $40, $50 to get this on eBay. Well, eBay recently started doing this thing called eBay Bucks, which they would give you a little bit of money back for future purchases if you ended up buying something. So anyway, I ended up earning about $20 worth of credits, and with that $20, I actually was able to get this game. And I'm really glad I did. This is just a great trick-taking game. It's really challenging. It's a lot of fun. It's not that difficult to learn. Once you get the hang of the different ranks of the cards and everything, you'll be playing this game in no time. And there's a lot of different ways you can play it. I really like the fact you have the basic, the advanced, the expert, and just all these different versions of the game that you can play. Really, really cool. As far as the two-player variant goes, my wife and I have done the beginner version, I guess you can say, and all you really have to do is you just have to deal out all the cards as if you were playing 3 players, and then take the third player's cards out of play, so that way you're not going to really be sure what the other player has. Because obviously if you deal out all the cards, you're going to know exactly what the other player has. They're going to have the opposite of what you have. So when you end up just leaving some cards out, that basically makes the game possible to play. And it works really well. It's a very cool game. So guys, that is my review of Dragonmaster. I hope you all have a great day and keep on gaming.